Hi, and welcome to my channel and to my video. Ow! Hi, and welcome to my channel and to today's video. If you don't know who I am, which is most people in the world, my name is Rachel. I am a 24-year-old single mother located in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am mommy to my almost 4-year-old daughter, Aria. So her birthday is right around the corner. Like, we're getting down to like the 30-day countdown for her fourth birthday, and it's kind of been making me nostalgic. And when I was pregnant, I didn't, I went through some stuff. I went through a pregnancy, and I didn't make YouTube videos, and I didn't really document a lot of it. And it's been 4 years, and I figured things are only gonna get foggier, and I wanted to get this out there and share my experience of being 20 and pregnant on my 21st birthday and all of the other things that went along with it. So if you guys wanted to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you're notified when I post videos. I want to do a whole series, like I said, on this, and give it a thumbs up if you like these kinds of videos. And yeah. So I started seeing Aria's father in August of 2013. We met July, and then we started dating in August. He was my first really serious boyfriend. Before this point in my life, I had been pretty overweight, 250 I clocked out at, and when him and I got together, I was at 170, 165, depending on that particular day. So I had dealt with a bunch of self-esteem issues, and I hadn't dated. The point is, I hadn't dated. This was my first official serious adult relationship, and I had those problems going into it. I was carrying this baggage I had just gotten over, and I was still getting over some really severe depression, anxiety. I have anxiety disorder, and I had an acute eating disorder at the time. I was anorexic, I'd say 5 out of 7 days of the week, and when I would not eat, and then I would binge, and then I would not eat. So it was really unhealthy place. I started dating her dad in August, and things were fine, I guess. I mean, I really I forgot a lot of stuff, but looking back at some social media posts and DMs, yeah, DMs. Not that cool to know what a DM is, but looking at DMs and stuff, we had a happy relationship, I guess. We got really serious way too fast, and on December 5th, I took a pregnancy test and found out that it was positive. So how this came to happen. So I was super consistent, I still am, and at that time I always got my period on the 1st. For 6 months before this, I had always gotten my period on the 1st. If I was late, it was I had it by the 3rd. It was great, by the way. When you know when your period's coming, it's fantastic. So I didn't get my period by the 3rd, and I was freaking out. And I worked at Walmart overnight at the time, unloading the shipment trucks and stocking the shelves. And the area of the store that I specialized in was the health, beauty, and pharmacy, which means the pregnancy tests. And I remember stocking them and just being really overwhelmed and anxious and upset, and deciding that I was just going to take one. So I bought one on my pregnancy test. I went into the handicap family restroom. So I was by myself, and I peed on the birth control test. It was first response, I think. And I was pregnant, and I remember texting Kirk and being I took a pregnancy test and I'm pregnant. And he already knew that I was concerned because I had been freaking out for 5 days. I was feeling so many things in that moment: shame, regret, stupidity, fear, great sadness. I was angry at myself. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. We weren't having protected sex, and I know better than that. And I don't know where I was at that time in my life. And I go back and I look at other decisions I made and I'm like, who the hell was I? So I was really like, I was kind of, I wouldn't know why I was surprised, but I was so upset and I was devastated and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I never before this, like I never wanted to be a mother. Never ever. I did not think I was cut out to be a mom. And I didn't want to have kids of my own. My plan was always to adopt if I did decide to have kids. And I always thought, like, if I got pregnant, I would have an abortion. I had always told my friends that. And yeah, and then I was there and I really couldn't imagine. I don't know, like, I was so torn about it. So I take a couple more, like, over the next 2 or 3 days. I think I end up taking like 10 pregnancy tests. And I start buying them in like the bulk. So everybody at the store now knows that I'm pregnant. I don't know. It took us a while to tell people for sure. I remember being really, really terrified to tell my parents because again, I felt like all of this shame. I felt ashamed of being pregnant and this mistake I had made, this decision. And I was devastated and I didn't want to tell them. I didn't want to own up to it. But when I did, it was amazing. Like, it's weird. I don't remember sitting my parents down and telling them, but I remember like going to tell them, like being like, I have something to tell you. And my mom was just like, you're pregnant, which was crazy that she knew, but they were really understanding and acceptive and supportive, no matter what decision I made. And my mom even offered to help me if I chose the abortion. She offered to help me pay for it and to take care of me and all of that, which is a really big deal because at the time my mom was and she still is a Christian. I wasn't, but she is, and it definitely went against her fundamental beliefs, but she chose to love me anyway. And I didn't, by the way, choose the abortion. But with that being said, I was freaking out. I was terrified. I was devastated. One of the lowest moments of emotion for me in my life, which is crazy because Aria has turned out to be one of the best things that has ever happened to me, and I am way happier now than I ever was before. So it's funny how like I polarized, but I was in the beginning terrified. And I remember Googling natural and holistic like abortion remedies, and I don't really honestly remember that much about what I read, and even if I did, I'm not going to share really anything because I don't condone having an abortion. It is your right to choose, and if you do choose that, you can always look it up. But yeah. So I looked it up. I mean, like, there's all kinds of crazy things out there too. Like, I don't know, like one of them was to like make some kind of a herb blend and like put it by my uterus. So there was some crazy stuff I was considering. That's definitely like an emotional process I went through. The different options that I had. I am and I was pro-choice. I have always and I've been and I always will be pro-choice. I just chose to keep my baby, and that might not be the best choice for every person. I do encourage you, of course, to keep your baby, whether it's to put it up for adoption or to raise yourself. I always encourage you to keep your baby. So when I found out I was pregnant, I did not have health insurance. I had only been working for Walmart. I've been working for Walmart for like 9 months at this point, so I wasn't eligible for health insurance. And I was uncovered. So I immediately, like on the 7th of December, I applied for Medicaid. When you apply for Medicaid, you have to prove medically that you're pregnant. Like obviously I can't send them in my pee stick. They want like a doctor to sign off on it. So I called around, and the cheapest place to have a verified medical pregnancy test done is Planned Parenthood, because I had such an amazing and positive experience at Planned Parenthood. And I feel like everything that like the media and society throws at us about Planned Parenthood is a lie. So I called Planned Parenthood, I set up my appointment to have the pregnancy test done, and I went in and I took the pregnancy test and it was positive, which we already knew. And then the doctors and the staff at Planned Parenthood asked me if I knew what I was going to do yet. And at that point, I hadn't really decided, but I was pretty sure that I was going to keep my daughter, and I told them that, and they actually, so here's the thing, Planned Parenthood did not offer me an abortion. They did not push an abortion at me. When I told them that I was considering keeping the child, they offered me so many services, counseling, advice on how to keep the baby, my different options if I decided to keep the baby. They were absolutely phenomenal. There was never once an abortion mentioned about my child. And I feel like that is something that really, 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 really needs to be said. Please, if you're watching this, share that. Because Planned Parenthood isn't as horrible as everybody makes it seem. Like, they wanted me to keep my baby, and they encouraged me to keep my baby. And I did keep my baby. So kudos, Planned Parenthood. Thank you for offering such amazing, amazing medical services to women. Thank you. Now, back to the regular program. One of the biggest challenges I think I faced going into my pregnancy is I had been living like this party lifestyle. I smoked cigarettes, I smoked weed, I drank, and before I found out I was pregnant, like from the time that Kirk and I had sex, that led to the conception until the time I found out, I had obviously been doing all of those things because that was the lifestyle that I led at the time, and I didn't know I was pregnant. And I remember when I found out I was pregnant, I think I smoked for like the rest of the weekend or for a couple of days because I still thought that I was going to have the abortion. I made the decision to keep her around like the 14th, but I was still on the fence about it for a while because I remember like my Planned Parenthood appointment was on like the 21st, and I still wasn't like fully, but I was committed. So I made my decision on the 14th. But I was still, I guess, questioning myself. But after a certain point, it was so easy for me to quit smoking cigarettes, specifically cigarettes. And I think cigarettes had such a prominent effect on me because everyone around me smoked them all the time. Like, we smoked them at Walmart, and I smoked them with Kirk, and I smoked them when I was driving, and they were the most consistent and open thing that I was doing at the time. And I remember suddenly they made me so nauseous. Just the smell of them, like the secondhand smell of them on somebody else, made me I puked a couple of times. So quitting for me actually wasn't a challenge. I literally, like, my body was revulsed, is that the correct word? By it? I think that's the correct word. I think giving up Red Bull was probably the hardest. I remember, like, all through my pregnancy, like, when Kirk would drink Red Bulls, I would, like, smell on them. That's the closest I could have. Or I would put some in my mouth and swish it around so I could taste it and then spit it out. I really like Red Bull, for a lot of reasons. Can't tell, I've had this can since, like, college. Yeah, I really like Red Bull. I use it actually to self-medicate for my anxiety because of the taurine in it. If you didn't know, so Red Bull gets most of its caffeination from taurine, which is really good mood regulator. So it was really hard for me to give that up. I know this video was kind of all over there. Like, I have notes, but they're kind of all over there too. It was 5 years ago since I found out I was pregnant. And yeah, it was not, like, some of this I didn't even remember until I started thinking about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys decide to subscribe so you can see my first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester recaps, as well as my birth story, or Aria's birth story, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Bye!